Good evening and welcome. Tonight we'll be going over the history and geography of Bumthang in Bhutan. This area is really interesting. It's known as the cultural and religious heartland of the country. It's interesting because there's not a lot of history that's happened here, but there's also so much history that's happened there at the same time in the form of legends and myths and saints and heroes and kings. It's incredible, but there's not a lot of just like very solid history facts that I can present to you about this place. Mainly because geographically, this is in the Himalayan mountain range. You can see the YA of Himalaya right there. The mountains come through here in Bhutan. It's a very mountainous country, obviously. It's in the Himalayas. And you can see right here the Wangchuk Park, I guess National Park, but they call it Centennial Park. Comes through here. Big, beautiful, snowy mountain peaks, glaciers, moraines, all the kind of wonders that you can find in the Himalayas. It also shares a border with China up here, technically Tibet, right, part of the Himalayas up there, which is very important to the history here, actually. There are 4 large valleys in this district, or Zongkang, I think it's called, in this district here. The most important one we'll be talking about is right through here, and it is the Tong Valley. This is where so much has happened in the legends and myths here, but also in this valley you can see right here, this is the very prominent Bumthang River. And this is the to make sure I say it right, the Chokor, wrong one, the Chokor River, oh my gosh, collect myself, the Chokor Valley with the Bumthang River. Oh my goodness, I am all discombobulated, my apologies. The Chokor. There's also in the south here the Ura Valley, which I'll take a look at. There's also in the north the Chumay Valley. I don't know what I'm getting all confused about. But you can see the town of Chokor right here in the valley, which is also really important to the history here. Up here, I think this is a paper town, because you can see that it's called Lakang. And a lakang is just like a word for temple in Bhutan. And I searched high and low and could not find a town just called Temple up here in the middle of the Himalayas in the glaciers. So I think this is a paper town right here. Isn't that cool? If you don't know, a paper town is a fake town made up by map making companies so that other map making companies will not copy their maps. There's always little inaccuracies that they plant in the maps. I found one in Yemen in this book, and now I found one in Bhutan. Unless like someone wants to correct me and be like, oh, actually there is a town right there that's just called Temple. But I searched for it and could not find it. It's literally, it's all glaciers right here, so I'm not sure if there is a town right there just called Temple, so I think it's a paper town. How cool is that here in Bhutan? So what kind of legends occurred here? Well, I'm going to tell you kind of in a nutshell, because there are so many. And it involved a lot of words and phrases that I'm not entirely familiar with and will probably mispronounce. Tibetan Buddhism is not my forte. Buddhist mythology in general is something that I should probably know more about. I learned a lot about it researching this place, but it's not my area of expertise, so I don't want to go into too many details about things I don't entirely understand, but I'm sure that some viewers will drop us some knowledge down in the comments, so look down there for that. But the biggest legend that occurred in this district, the Bumthang district, involves Guru Rinpoche. Guru Rinpoche, from what I understand, is one of the founders of Tibetan Buddhism. Obviously, the founder of Buddhism was Siddhartha Gautama over in Nepal here. It became the Buddha. But Tibetan Buddhism got its start much later. And Guru Rinpoche, otherwise known as Padmasambhava, was a very big part of that. He lived between the 8th and 9th centuries. And in his story here, he was summoned to these valleys to help cure the king of the Bhutan kingdom, who was, from what I understand, being possessed by this demon. So he came and he got rid of the demon and healed the king of his illness, and the king converted to Buddhism, and therefore Buddhism officially became a religion here in Bhutan, which of course Buddhism is practiced all over Bhutan here, so it's a big deal, isn't it? He introduced Tibetan Buddhism to Bhutan during that event. Also, with all of the different temples and shrines, things like that we'll look at on Google Earth after this, he visited a lot of them, and there's lots of little legends associated with them, caves that have his handprints. We'll look at one place where he meditated for so long that his shadow is cast on the rocks. Little things like that, There's little legends about his travels around here during that time. He traveled all throughout Tibet and Nepal, having sacred, holy adventures and things, but that was his time here in Bhutan. Another very important saint that was actually born right about here in Bhutan was Pema Lingpa. Pema Lingpa lived between 1450 and 1521. And he's venerated as a saint in Bhutan, in Tibetan Buddhism in Bhutan. He's even reincarnated, kind of like the Dalai Lama, right? So there's his incarnation that lives today here, along with his son's incarnation and grandson's incarnation. Pretty interesting. He also had lots of incredible stories and legends about him. Most of them involved him recovering the terma of Guru Rinpoche. Terma, from what I understand, being treasures and I guess documents of legends involving Guru Rinpoche that were left throughout the valley here during his visit so long before that. The most famous involved the Burning Lake, which of course we're going to look at. It's about right here or so in Bhutan. He took a lamp, flame, because they didn't have electricity back then, obviously. He took his lamp and dove into this pond, and when he emerged, he brought back all kinds of different treasures, all the terma that Guru Rinpoche had left behind, and his lamp was still burning, even though he had been underwater for a very long time. So it's called the Burning Lake, even though it's not currently burning, and it's not even a lake. It's like a pond. It's just a little pool of water. But it's called the Burning Lake because of that. That's his most famous story here. Other than the fact that his descendants, besides the ones that have been reincarnated, can trace into the Wangchuck family dynasty, which is very important because the Wangchuck family is the current royal family of Bhutan. The king of Bhutan is from the Wangchuck dynasty. I think they've been ruling Bhutan since like 1910, I believe. So they trace their family lineage back to the valleys here. Isn't that neat? It makes sense why they have the Wangchuck Park up there as well, isn't it? The Bumthang kingdom, however, was incorporated into Bhutan in the year 1616. So it's been part of this country for a very long time. And like I said, its stories and legends shape the faith and cultures throughout Bhutan. It's an incredibly beautiful, incredibly important valley to Bhutanese culture. And that, in a nutshell, is the history and geography of Bumthang. Like I said, not a lot of history, but so much history at the same time. There are so many stories and legends all throughout here. It's incredible. I would recommend maybe looking up some of the stories about Guru Rinpoche, because I left out so many. He had so many incredible adventures. That could be a whole video alone, right? So we have a lot to look at here. So without further ado, let's hop over to the tablet and check it out. Here we are in Bumthang. But let's start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. If you don't know where Bhutan is, if you've never even heard of it, don't worry. We're going to learn right now. Don't you worry. This is Bhutan up here. Very easy to find because it's nestled within the Himalaya Mountains. Himalayas here, bordering China and India, encompassing Nepal and Bhutan. You can't miss it. It's one of the most geographically prominent places on the globe. You can see Bangladesh is just to the south here. And then this is, of course, Tibet up here. Up in the highest highlands in the world. So here's Bhutan. There's the capital, Thimphu. And here is Bumthang. And you can see just how mountainous it is and snowy and glaciated up here, right? Let's check out the park. Of course, it's not popping up. Why wouldn't it? Why? Goodness. This part's all blurred out for whatever reason. Gotta make sure we don't wind up in China. Not today. There we go. National Park. It's beautiful. Of course, it's the mountains, so of course it's beautiful. You have all of these streams, beautiful trees down in like the foothills here, and then up high you have all the jagged peaks of the Himalayas. Pretty flowers too. Look at the pretty flowers. Oh my goodness, so many. Oh, he is waist deep in that water. Look how cold. Oh my goodness. Can you just like feel the biting cold in this picture? Oh, look at them hiking. How brave. So cold, so chilly. Goodness. You can always tell how old or young mountains are by how pointy they are. The pointier, the more jagged they are, the newer that they are. If they're more rounded, they've been around for a while. So, there's my brother, sorry. He's playing video games right now, preparing for a gaming tournament. We'll let him do that. But, yeah, the Himalayas are relatively new mountains on the planet. After the Indian subcontinent used to be an island, crashed here into Asia, and as it crashed, it went poof, like that. And it's still growing today. This is still pushing into Asia. These mountains are getting higher and higher and higher. If you can believe that, the highest mountains in the world, they're still growing. Let's head down to the valleys now because So we have a lot to see. So here is the Tong Valley. Let's start over here. Now this place is really neat. Ogyencholing. This is, it's called a museum, which it is. Look how beautiful. Just this preserved architectures, but it's like a fortress slash town. You can see the inside slash kind of like way station for travelers. Look at these masks. So you can actually book your stay here. The family that runs it has been running it for hundreds of generations. Still all preserved. Get your dinner there. I'm sure a delicious traditional meal. I don't know what that is. It looks like some kind of workshop. Maybe to make masks or these beautiful clothes. I don't know. Yeah, Heritage House and Museum. But you can stay here. Check their website. You can book stays here. How incredible is that? And live like it's the 14th century. You don't have to dress like this, but live like, Pemeling Po is just visiting, Pretty amazing. So here you can see the Lakongs, right? Lakong temple in so many words. And they're all, let's look at this one first. Kind of reminds me of just how we were in Bukhara in Uzbekistan, how all of the madrasas and mosques and things looked similar. I'm sure there's a wonderful legend with this tree. In the same way that all of these temples start to look the same. They all have the same really beautiful architecture. All these beautiful roofs and wood sides there. Same decorations, same windows. But then the insides, look how incredible. That's one of the amazing things about Buddhist temples is just how elaborate everything is inside. So incredible. Let's see, I was reading legends about this one. Is this the tiger one? Yeah, this is the tiger stripe one. The tiger stripes are later in this slideshow. But it's a monastery built into these rocks here. Or monastery temple. Probably both. There's prayer wheels there. You spin these wheels as you pray, and those prayers spin out. Look at these big ones. Spin out into the world. And prayer flags. If the prayers are written on the flags, they flutter in the wind and send it out into the world. All these beautiful candles as well. And these, I'm sure there's so many legends within these rocks as well. And here are the tiger stripes. I think there's a better... Oh, maybe not. But yeah, you can see the orange and black. The tigers in the rocks. Pretty cool. Down here in the valley, we'll find the burning lake. Let's head down here. Oh, it didn't pop up. This nunnery, though, is pretty neat. I was reading about it. So beautiful. But I was reading about, how it offers so much to the women and girls of the community here. Give them a place of importance. And to participate in traditions and festivals and things like that. Isn't it beautiful? It kind of gives me almost like all of the wood decor, all of the beautiful wood, kind of reminds me of Switzerland, doesn't it? It's almost alpine in a way, which I suppose is, it makes sense because we're in the mountains here as well. Alright, it's down here somewhere. I thought it was near that nunnery. I thought it was up here. I could have sworn I was just looking at it. Like an hour or so before filming. I thought it was right there. I thought it was right here. Or somewhere near. Oh. Yep, I was right. I know what I'm talking about. Mebarcho, the burning lake, where Pema Lingpa, Bhutan's greatest Tertone, discovered several of Guru Rinpoche's terma in the 15th century. Now you know what that means. How pretty is that? So you walk along the path until you find the burning lake and all the prayer flags around it. Which, like you can see, it's not really a lake, but close enough. Look at all of these little offerings here by the statues. This is such an incredibly sacred spot here. Isn't it pretty? This place is unreal. And like every temple is, oh cool, that's neat, is just so gorgeous. Ooh, cold day. Cold day at the burning lake. They're all beautiful. Let's head up to this area. So pretty much all of these Longkongs here have stories involving Guru Rinpoche, this one being the most famous. I don't think there's a picture of it in this slideshow, but this is where the cave where his imprinted shadow is located. Oh, hello, Tommy. My goodness, sorry about that. I think, if I recall, also this was the first temple built here in Bhutan, being one of the, hold on, I gotta get closer to read this tiny writing, hold on. One of the secret plays of Guru Rinpoche, it is the responsibility of everyone to pay respect. Yeah, those who wishes to visit the Longkong should come in proper dress wear. Okay. I thought that would have stuff about history. It was about dress code. All these beautiful rocks as well. Look at the planets there, I think. The cosmos. I read that this was like the first temple built in Bhutan. But I just read that. I can't guarantee. This is like the biggest one, I believe. One of the 108 temples built by Tibetan King Songtsen Gampo in 659 CE in a single day. That's right, this is the legend here. To pin down an ogress to earth forever. That was the legend. Songtsen Gampo is the king that I mentioned in the legend. And yeah, the story is that he built this temple in one day. And I'm pretty sure this is the biggest one. It's so beautiful. Look at that archway there. Oh, they're all dressed up, probably telling the story with music accompanying. Dancing, all kinds of festivals. Beautiful prayer wheel there. Ooh, spooky. He's got 3 eyes. 1, 2, 3. All the candles here. Look at that. Imagine all that lit up. Another festival here. Oh, and nighttime as well. Must be cool. Oh my goodness, look, a friend. What is that? Like a marmot or something? A weasel? The monks walking by and relaxing, probably meditating. Or just chilling, I don't know. But yeah, all of these have some kind of beautiful legend associated with it. Jokhar here is the main town. Let's see, look at the big temple there. Look how beautiful. Oh, that's fun. Up high on the hills. Oh my goodness, look how green it is here. Oh man, all that snow melt. once it's springtime, just leaves all of that flourishing green. So many trees and flowers. Beautiful, all lit up at night. A big waterfall. Yeah, this place is special. This really... Is there something kind of alpine about this? I don't know, it's just me. But, like, this is like a must visit if you ever come to Bhutan. And coming to Bhutan is very complicated. You have to pay a lot of money to visit Bhutan because they don't want you polluting, essentially. This is the only carbon negative country in the world, and they don't want visitors. They don't want hordes and hordes of tourists visiting, so they charge, it's like $2,000 a day to visit Bhutan. So if you ever get the chance, if you can ever afford to visit Bhutan, see, look, all the buildings are very similar. They're all beautiful, but yeah, we won't look at every single one because they're all architecturally very similar. So here's the Ura Valley down here. There's some beautiful temples here as well. Let's look at this one. Oh yeah, this is a good one because there's lots of festival pictures in the slideshow here. All the wonderful costumes and masks. We saw some of those masks before back in that village museum. And that's what they look like with the costumes. Doing wonderful dances. So many colors. So many stories and legends being acted out. Look at that. But it sounds incredible too, all of that music. Amazing, right? Oh, this one's way up high in the mountains. Oh, but there's no pictures. Probably because it's way up high in the mountains. Goodness. Let's look at this monastery. If we can. Oh, we can. It means high rock because we're up high. The very famous tiger's nest, which looks like this but 10 times more beautiful, is not too far away. But yeah, sadly we're not looking at that. That's another very famous Guru Rinpoche site. Oh, I wonder if surely that's some kind of sacred cave with some kind of sacred story associated with it. It's so cool here. I feel like, goodness, I would really have to budget to visit this place because I want to see all of it. It would take a while, wouldn't it? To see all these incredible sights. Trongsa, that's the district that the tiger's nest is in. But yeah, look at these mountains up here. The big imposing Himalayas. Look at those. Does this have a slideshow? This outpost? Yeah, only the one. Little rice fields, mountains in the background, and the prayer flags there. How beautiful. But yeah, that is where we're going to end tonight. See the big valleys coming down. Thank you so much for watching. Let's look at this one. I feel like I was reading about this one too, but I don't remember them. All the stories blended together. But look how pretty. Oh my gosh. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing. This is an ongoing series on the channel. Next, we're heading over to Kenya, where we'll have a Google Earth segment. There's not a lot of photos in this county of Kenya, but the ones that are there are great because we are going to see pictures of the second highest mountain in Kenya. One of my favorite facts, geography facts, is the highest mountain in Kenya is Mount Kenya. The country is named after the mountain. But we're going to the second highest. Do you know what it is? It's not Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro's not in Kenya. I wonder if you know what it is. Let me know if anyone knows. But yeah, we're going there next in Kenya. So be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out. All these photos are beautiful photos. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I want to keep looking at all the pictures. They're so pretty. My goodness. Oh, look. It's very prepared. Got all the offerings there. How pretty. Oh, gorgeous. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good now it pops up, my goodness. A good night. Good night.